my name's Jacqui Dyer, and I'm co-chairing the Black Mental Health Commission for Lambeth. I'd just like to, Ed's talked quite a bit about what the purpose of the Mental Health Commission is for Lambeth, but I'd just sort of like to relate some of what you're saying there with the agenda that preceded it, which is about, I suppose in a nutshell, sort of economic development for our black communities. And so to relate the experience of the black community in terms of economic development, in that there's a sort of repression, suppression, oppression of economic development within our communities, and that's a feature or a factor that impinges on our own emotional health and well-being, and what makes this agenda so important in collaboration with that agenda. Yeah, I say that because some of the features that the black community experiences pertaining to mental health is the overrepresentation in mental health facilities at the more extreme end, accessing mental health services at the more extreme end, late rather than earlier, where their mental health issues could have been better catered for at an earlier point. And so forth. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a service user of mental health services. I'm originally from Yorkshire, you can tell by my accent. I've got 3 siblings with severe and enduring mental health challenges. So I've been a carer all of my adult life. And my mother suffered mental health issues when she first came into this country and experienced a whole lot of racism up there in the north. And so it's mental health experience at the more severe end of the spectrum is very much part of my journey in working with statutory and community services in trying to access help, to get the best possible care for myself and for my family and for my community. Unfortunately, my youngest brother, whom, it's a love thing, this is a love thing. I love my family. I love my siblings, and my younger brother died this year. So I have to look at how can I contribute back into the community what was really a great love and is of my life, which was my younger brother. He experienced 20 years of paranoid schizophrenia. And one of the things that was really, really painful for me to experience was around the stigma and discrimination that he experienced in his own journey, in his own world, not only from trying to access employment or education or those kind of worlds, but also from within his own black community. You know, so one of the issues that we have to address ourselves is the stigma and discrimination within our own community, within our families, within our churches, that mean that when somebody is experiencing a mental health difficulty, your brother, your sister, your uncle, your aunt, your cousin, your child, your nephew, your niece, that they can speak about that at the earliest possible point rather than feeling so shamed and disgusted about themselves that they cannot talk about it. And that what happens then is that builds up till they're being pulled off the street into the police station because they've not been able to access or talk about the crisis that they're experiencing at any other point, earlier point in their journey. So this is a really important dialogue for us to have in our community, so that we can support one another, so that we can evolve, heal, grow, so that we can then contribute or develop or work together more constructively on an economic, on a socio, on a political perspective, so that we're all acting as active citizens, supporting one another to engage well in society. Some of my complementary roles that I deal with in relation to this agenda, I'm a member of the Ministerial Advisory Group for Mental Health, working with one of Norman Lamb MP around implementing the National Mental Health Strategy. That's at a national level. And then on another level, I'm part of the Department of Health national campaign for stigma and discrimination. I'm a member of the senior management group. And so what I try and do, and that's on a national level, but this is a local level, and then I've got my personal level, yeah, with my family. So on any level that I can actively try and push forward this agenda to improve the black experience of mental health services, but not just in the services. Services make up a component of our experience. The rest of it is our lived lives. How are we improving our own emotional and mental well-being for each and every one of us as a community, as families? That's the vast majority of it. So in terms of what we're looking at, it's the whole sphere. It's from the family to the most severe end of the spectrum. That's why Ed mentions education and so forth. But I could go on and on.